I want to talk to you about the moment that you were created at conception. When your birth parents came together to make you. Okay, so here we are at that singular, amazing miracle of conception when you were created. If they came together in love, all is well, wonderful. You are immediately grounded. If they didn't come together in love, if it was a difficult situation, if it was, frankly, if it was a rape, if one parent was trying to control the other, as in someone wanted to get pregnant in order to make the other person stay with them, if it was a violent situation, or if someone was born into a situation with a lot of children and their parents, although they loved each other, they really were already stressed out with having many, many children. So we've got violence, we've got the need to control, we've got stressed out, maybe money is an issue, whatever was going on. Maybe one parent wanted a child and the other parent didn't want a child. All that stuff you inherit the moment you're conceived, and all that stuff is in your root chakra. Let me tell you a story. As I was preparing the course, I was thinking of my own history because when I was growing up, I was a mess. I had so much anxiety. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to go off to college. I hated high school. It was one thing after another. And nobody could understand where this was coming from because we didn't understand this back in the days when the dinosaurs were on the earth because I'm older than dirt. But seriously, back in the 50s, see, here's an interesting point that I want to make. My mother was 25 when she married my father, who was 36. My mother wanted to have a baby so much. This was 1945. My father was hesitant to have a child, one, because he was Jewish, and at that time, he was afraid to create a child, create me, because of the prejudice that was in the world. Even though they were both over here in America, he had immigrated from Stockholm, Sweden. He didn't want to have a baby. The other reason was, which I totally understand and have forgiven him a long time ago, he had rheumatic fever as a child and he had an enlarged heart. In his later years, he had a lot of heart problems, and another told me the story of one day my father told her, "This child cannot be born." Now, where do you think that's going to go? That's going to go right to me. Now, that happened after conception, obviously, when I was growing in my mother. But all his fears and all my mother's desires, finally, they got together, and I was born in 53. But it took 7 years for my parents and my father to finally say, "Okay, let's have a child." My mother wanted me for 7 long years. So in 52, I was conceived and I was born in 53. You think I'm going to have some anxiety. You think I inherited some things from both my parents? I obviously did at the moment of conception. And these are the things that are in our root chakra at the moment of conception. Now, all know about them unless someone tells us or unless we know the history of how we came to be made. Nevertheless, these can all be cleared. That's the good news. So, whatever the circumstances were around the moment you were created, never fear, you can clear them. And so, we are going to move on, and I'm going to talk to you about birth trauma.